a very important meeting.
Hey, Brian.
Oh my God, is it that time again?
Yep, our once every or twice a year video.
Did we even do one in all of 2016?
We did. I think we might have done 2.
Okay, right on.
I think our last one was like 6 to 8 months ago.
Hello, welcome to 2017 and this episode. Oh, train. Dude, how badass does that look? Does it look like daylight on that camera?
It looks pretty good.
Can we talk about this camera and
Sure.
why everyone should think you're awesome for having it?
Yeah, alright.
So, have you done any day for night shooting yet?
Not really.
Do you want to write something just so we and wait until night, just so we can do some day for night shooting?
Sure. I mean, that's how most of the ads end up going.
Yeah.
I go, oh, I got a new thing, and let me figure out a way to shoehorn that in.
I believe it. Man, a lot has changed since we last had our important meeting. I don't think Modern Rogue had even launched yet.
Yeah, I think it had.
Well, I mean, I'm on its own channel.
Oh, on its own channel? Maybe not. Maybe
so
not.
that means since the last meeting, Modern Rogue launched, and it just caught its second wave of rush, and the waters always recede, but we're definitely at just over 250,000 subscribers now and climbing, and people really seem to dig our nonsense.
Yeah.
Are you still enjoying writing those? Or, I mean, I guess really you're writing. I mean, you're editing and directing, but so much of it, like you're the third host of the show through all of your comments and on-screen storytelling.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
All right. That's all I'm getting out of you. So what do you want? What are you most excited to be working on next?
I guess I don't know. More Modern Rogue stuff, better Modern Rogue stuff.
Yeah, we're flirting. We're trying to figure out how to make it possible to go to twice a week and just blue skying crazy ideas about what 3 times a week would look like. Although I don't think we could do 3 full episodes a week, but we think we might see a way to do 2 episodes and like a mailbag episode where we do 30 minutes Q&A or whatever. Maybe.
All hypothetical.
All hypothetical, blue sky. I was in a movie this week.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that I haven't seen any of the behind-the-scenes stuff. So so things that happened this week. I was in a movie. The book test was on the Tonight Show.
Okay.
I flew to Las Vegas in time to see 4 performances by Matt. Why am I blanking? Matt Donnelly of Penn Sunday School fame, and also Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social. And then I appeared on Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, and hot damn, they're funny. And then I was out for, I've been kind of ramping up back into getting healthy, so I'm only able to jog the first 2 miles, then after that I walk, but I keep walking. And so this week I've done 3 half marathons worth of walking. And one of them, I went from downtown Las Vegas all the way down to the end of the strip at Mandalay Bay. And over the course of that time, it just got windier and windier to where by the time I got to Mandalay Bay, my phone buzzed and it said emergency weather alert, winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour, seek shelter. And then it got updated. Then the wall of dust came in and blocked out the sun. And in about 15 minutes, it dropped 20 degrees, and there was dust everywhere. Like when I closed my mouth, I could feel my teeth grinding on the dust. And then trees started falling over in front of me, and then it was wacky.
That's fun.
And then I went to the airport, and even though I called ahead, even though the airport, the Frontier.com site, flight tracker, all of them insisted that my flight was definitely going to leave on time at 12:40 a.m. not so much. I got there, and after I got through security, it's like, psych, it won't leave for another 2.5 hours. And of course, all the establishments were closed, so nobody had food, nobody had drink, and there was no way to get either of those. Everybody was just splayed out like refugees on the ground as far as the eye could see. Bonnie would have been horrified. She hates the idea of laying down in public. But instead, it's like just everyone laying down everywhere. And then I got on a plane at 3-something and flew to Austin and came back just in time to hear that the modern road was going to launch, but too exhausted to stand on my feet. I slept. And then now today, learning jujitsu. I learned jujitsu.
Yeah.
It was a plus all the usual podcasts. It was busy.
Sure.
It was busy. It was a busy thing.
Yeah. I realized the other day that I give you the best gift every day.
Yes.
Yes. You might be starring in a movie or featured in a movie in some capacity, but I still don't have time for your shit.
What do you mean?
I'm never gonna be like, oh, it's Brian. Look at, I'm gonna bow to Brian. No way, Jose. I'm tired of you, and I'm done with putting up with your nonsense.
That's your gift to me? Is that you don't give a rat's ass and you're unimpressed?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually,
I humble you.
I'm going to say that actually is 100% the gift. And here's the flip side. My gift to you is I don't hound your ass looking for rough cuts if you're like, oh, I got to get approval on the, can you change the color palette in scene 5? It's just like I'm just, we are now at a point, because I realized, I was like, holy shit, we've reached a point where episodes go up and I've never seen a single bit of it. And I realized, why is that? And I was like, well, because Brant has proven by now that there's not a single thing I have to offer that he's not better at. And I'm up to the point now where I will include the magic in there, because Brant has a better eye for storytelling and coverage and consistency between shots, and he obviously was there to learn the trick, so he knows the right way and the wrong way to teach it, and pretty much, I'm not going to criticize him on editing and pacing and color palette and timing and music and any of that stuff, because you're better than me at all of that now. So now it's like, that's the other gift you give me, is on a Wednesday night or a Friday morning, I'm like, wonder what the new episode looks like.
Right.
It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Also, this whole episode, we get a lot of light coming in through the back of the car, and it bounces off of the rear view mirror, and I'm getting like this really noir effect of just a strip of light across your eyes. Oh, that's
awesome! I've always wondered, number one, why they did that. Like when I grew up in the 80s, it was a trope. Like it was so overdone that I'm like, that never happens in real life. Why do they do that? But now I could be all like, life on the road, it's a hard thing. When you're drinking as much as I do and banging dames left and right, a small job like this one doesn't faze you until you learn a wrist break takedown maneuver from a former Army Ranger. No?
All I can think about right now is this is perfectly framed for those scenes where a car T-bones you. And it just hits that window.
So all I have to do is I just have to talk a little too long into the camera.
Checking your phone and then boom.
Yeah. Those give me so much anxiety.
Yeah. And you didn't have this car the last time we had a very important meeting.
Holy shit, yeah. So it would have been back then.
Also, since we've last done one of these, we've started having actual meetings.
Yeah, that's a weird thing too. Although I think are we due for another one? We've had ours early in March before.
So it'll be, so we do middle of every quarter.
Okay.
So we did February.
So we got time.
And then it'll be after April, whatever's after April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like we're lacking now? Because we got meetings, we got very important meetings. We got how's the Bizarre Briefing doing?
It's doing pretty well.
Yeah. Right on. I'll tell you what, those extended outtakes are the best.
They're pretty good.
I'm glad that you're doubling down on that. I actually can totally picture the Scam School or Scam Stuff channel just drifting over 100,000 subscribers just based on the extended outtakes.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? I think I did. Did I tell you about my new full-time job for the rest of the year?
No.
The number one thing that needs to happen in this year, because I basically sketched out 30-year benchmarks, and it's like, okay, here's where we want to be in 30 years. In order for that to happen, where do we have to be in 5 years? Okay, in order for that to happen, where do we have to be in 1 year? And basically, in 1 year, we've got to be over 1 million subscribers, possibly up in Scam School territory of 2 million subscribers on the Modern Rogue. And so then it's like, sketch out the 4 most important things you can do to cause that to happen. And then of those 4, circle the one that will make the biggest difference and make the other ones so much easier or possibly irrelevant to achieve the goal. So it's like, if the goal is, the most important thing we could do is get Modern Rogue up to 1 million, 2 million subscribers. Of the 4 things I wrote down, it was like, do collaborations and, appear on other people's stuff. And as I wrote that, I thought of all the standing invitations and all the invitations that I was always too busy. I'm like, I don't want to do, I don't know who, whatever, all that stuff. And then the last part of the prescription is whatever you circled, that is your number 1 job for the rest of the year. And so I was like, wow. And so that's why I flew out to Las Vegas, because I only had the movie thing in LA. But I was like, well, his audience is very demographically similar to our audience, and I'm really excited about it. It was a really fun appearance, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more cross-promotional stuff. And once I did the exercise, did you ever listen to the Missing Richard Simmons podcast?
No.
It was really, really good, and then very clearly legal action was threatened, and he just wrapped it up. He's like, guess what? Richard Simmons is fine. But along the way, when he's talking about Richard Simmons, how he built his platform, there was 20 minutes Richard Simmons had a talk show, but nobody watched it, and it didn't matter. And yes, he bought some ads, but that's not why everyone knows him. They know him because he would show up on other people's programs and just be Richard Simmons as hell. So essentially, his platform was just being a good guest on other people's platforms. And so I just realized, like, wow, man, Richard Simmons sold $150 million of deal-a-meal cards or whatever, and he did it all just by saying yes to other people's gigs. And so it's like, well, if I want to, surely a little bit of effort in that way can help get Modern Rogue up where it wants to be.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
It's work. I mean, it is sometimes fun, and then sometimes, but it's also, nerve-wracking on a day that maybe you don't want to have your nerves racked. And also you got to psych yourself up to get in the right frame of mind, and sometimes you do well, sometimes you don't. The hardest is when you get on a show and very clearly you realize, oh, this guy has no idea what he's doing, and he's leaning on me to carry this show, and it's like, this is not fun. And but it's like, well, I guess I'm in it for 45 more minutes.
Yeah. That can happen.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess the moral of the story is hopefully you'll see a
Rusty Mule.
Yeah, Rusty Mule.
Scam School location.
Yeah. For those of you, I was seeing in the comments people saying, this is so fake. They're not really having a very important meeting.
Soundstage.
That's not really driving. Boo, night for day, clearly using a filter.
Speaking of collaborations, did we ever talk about that documentary that I was in with Jim Crawford, the creator of Frog Fractions?
No.
And also Jonathan Blow, creator of The Witness, and the guy who made Spelunky.
Tell me, how did this happen?
So Danny O'Dwyer, formerly of GameSpot.
Right, this is the guy who did the awesome Patreon to do monthly documentaries.
Yep.
Pleasant
Pleasant Irish man who I met a few months back. Yeah, so he's doing a thing called No Clip, and it's video game documentaries. They're really well done, and he's doing one about mysteries right now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of broken up into a few different games. And at some point, he put the call out to patrons. And he said, "Hey, if you've ever had some sort of video game mystery yourself, send me a short clip of that, and I'll see what I can do about getting it in the doc."
So what was your video game mystery?
Mine was about this glitch in Halo 3 where you could get into, you could like crawl up into a dumpster, and then if you had a rocket launcher equipped and 2 people in there, you could melee inside of the dumpster and you could fly around maps in the dumpster.
Wait, is this legend or this is a definite thing?
It's a definite thing that happened.
And did you encounter it randomly, or you heard about it and you went on a quest to solve it?
I don't remember. I think it was just one of those things that you kind of hear about, and then we're deep enough into the proliferation of internet video that stuff surfaced pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I realized I didn't really it was weird because video game mysteries is not a shared experience with me. It's something that I basically have zero experience with.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my short list of, I'll record this and maybe he'll have some kind of use for it. And it got used, and I think one of the big reasons why it got used is because it was a perfect transition piece.
Oh, we're having on.
So that specific doc is broken up into a bunch of different sections, and the first one is all about kind of a broad overview, and that's where all of the entries went, because it was people talking about their childhood and some weird thing that they had heard about or whatever. But the second bit was all about bugs, and so it's all of these pieces of people talking, and then it kind of uses my video as a transition into the developers talking about bugs in video games and how that affects sort of the mystery of them.
Got it. Dude, that's awesome.
So go check that out.
Were you informed, or you're just watching it and suddenly there you are?
I was very surprised because I was watching it, and then all of the user submitted stuff sort of ended, and I went, oh, well, that's kind of what I expected. Like, mine wasn't really on target for like this specific type of thing. That's fine. And then like 10 minutes in, I hear my voice because it starts on black and it's just my voice.
And do you have that disconnect moment of just like, that sounds familiar, or you just instantly recognize you?
I pretty instantly recognized me. It was, it kind of took me aback, but it was very, very cool.
That's awesome. It's so weird because I still get intimidated when appearing on other people's platforms, or when stuff is surprise, like calling in the radio to express an opinion. I'd be super nervous.
Mm-hmm. That's how I was for a while. I probably still would be like that. I just don't do it that often. But
what was that one call-in podcast thing that you did once?
Yeah, that was an experience. So it was a podcast, I want to say Caller Go Ahead, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was created by the guy who made Super Fight, the card game.
Right.
And
it's like you would call and leave a voicemail that he would use as if it was a call-in thing?
Well, sort of, yeah. So he had a voicemail number, you call and it went straight to voicemail, and then you would just leave a message about whatever you want, and he would collect all of these voicemail messages and like essentially craft a narrative through it. And a lot of times it was just like people talking about their day, or people talking about some hardship that they're going through, or like whatever. And I called in, and I was like, I think I might have gotten close to passing out afterwards. Like, I was trembling.
Yeah.
Like full body tremble, and I had to like lay down afterwards because it was such a stressful event for me.
Well, because you are not normally the most extroverted person on the planet.
Right. And I guess...
Are we falling in? You want to keep the meeting rolling?
Let's call it here.
Okay. Brant, not an extrovert. Brian is Richard Simmons. The A7 is nice. Modern Rogue could be expanding. We're happy with the growth. The end. Good meeting. Good meeting.
Yeah.